Everybody. Welcome to another, I don't know what to call this podcast with Michael Francis. This is actually an emergency podcast. I'm sure many of you have heard by now that Charlie Kirk has been shot, seriously wounded, shot in the neck at an event in Utah at a university there. Uh, People, I don't know what to say. I was stunned by this. I'm not shocked, but stunned by what's going on here and this horrible shooting. I really mean that. And you know what, people, I want to give you some perspective on this. I'm not a stranger to violence. I'm not. I was on the street for over 20 years. I know a lot of things that went on, but I'm telling you what, that was an organized crime group. And at times we had issues with one another. People got killed, no doubt. Well, what's going on now in the United States, what's going on even in the United Kingdom, it's horrendous. These are innocent people getting shot, getting killed, people on a train, people, at an event. And, before I get into all of that, I'm going to try to give some live updates on what's going on now. Let me go through the history. For those of you that are not aware of this, I mean, it's been all over the news, all over social media. Charlie Kirk, who is an activist. He founded Turning Point, an organization that he deals with mostly college and young people, just talking to them, giving them a perspective, talking to them about what he believes is right, the policies that are right for this country. Yes, he's on the right. He's not on the left. He's not an official part of Trump's cabinet, but he's done a lot, I think, to help get elected by opening the eyes of young people on our college campuses. I happened to meet Charlie Kirk with a friend of mine. He was out here in Orange County at an event, a fundraising event, and my friend and partner Brett, and I went to see him. Nice guy, delightful guy, very, very intelligent, carries himself well, 31 years old, and obviously has had a good and great and powerful impact on the young people in this country, mostly men. And I got to tell you, to hear that a young man like this at a college giving a speech, talking to young people, something like this could happen. What are some of the facts that we know now? They claimed originally that they had the shooter. He was shot in the neck. I saw the video of it. Absolutely horrendous. I mean, obviously they hit an artery, blood was gushing out. If he survives, it's going to be a miracle. I have to tell you that from what I've seen and what my experience is in life, it's just horrendous. Allegedly, they had caught the shooter, and then they found out it wasn't the shooter. From what I understand, he shot from about 200 yards away, from a building 200 yards away, or a space 200 yards away. He obviously was some kind of a sharpshooter, meant to hit him in the neck, the head, wherever, and obviously was a good shot in that regard. Charlie Kirk doesn't have Secret Service protection. He's got his own security, and whatever security was around at the site at that time. So, who knows how proficient that security was. Obviously, nobody saw this guy. It had to be a rifle. It certainly wasn't a handgun. I'm not an expert in that regard, but that's what I believe. We don't have those answers yet, but it's uh, it's just horrendous, people. It's horrendous. Uh, and I have in front of me whatever live updates we're going to have about this thing as he's in the hospital and we get to hear what's going on. Let's just pray that he survives. I mean, no young man should go down like this on whatever side he's on, whether it be Republican, Democrat, right or left. I mean, this is horrible stuff. And let me tell you something. If this shook somebody like me who's seen a lot in their life, it should be shaking a lot of people right now. And I want to tell you this, man, I'm angry. I am really angry about this because people, you got to understand this. And I've been saying this on my Saturday morning podcast, my live podcast. I've been saying this. All of this is a result of the hateful and divisive rhetoric that's coming from the top, from our leadership. Nobody is going to tell me different. That's the way it happens. It starts at the top and it trickles down to people that are imbalanced, that have mental issues, that have problems, and they take it to the next step. They think it's an obligation of theirs to go out and save the world based upon what these politicians say about one another and say about the state of this country. It's horrible. And I'm going to tell you something. It's on both sides, no question about it. But listen, I say what's on my mind and what I see. This has nothing to do with being a Trump supporter in any way, shape, or form. This is what I observe. These people on the left who want you to believe that Trump is going to destroy this country, that Trump is going to eat your babies, that Trump is going to put everybody in jail, that Trump is going to do all of these horrible things. These are the people that are causing this, and it's for one reason only. It's not because they care about you or they care about me. They don't. Trump stands in the way of their maintaining power. That's all this is. I am telling you, that's all it is. I know it. I can see it. I wrote a book about it, Mafia Democracy. These people do not want to give up their seats of power. That is the bottom line. And they will say anything and do anything. They have no ethical or moral compass when it comes to this. They don't. And what happens? They call each other names. They even resort to cursing one another out, using profanity like we've never heard, years back. Undignified, classless, no class people talking like this and making people believe that this country is coming to an end because of somebody like Donald Trump. It's sick. It's disgusting. It's untrue. It's all a lie. And it's for one for them to maintain power. They don't care about the people. Trust me on that. If they cared about the people, they wouldn't be abusing you of taxpayer dollars. They wouldn't be $37 trillion in debt. They wouldn't be yelling at each other. They wouldn't be lying. They wouldn't be the hypocrites that they all are. And I'm sorry. And you know what? Maybe I'm exposing myself by saying this, but I don't care. I really don't care anymore. Something has got to stop. I'm not talking about the people in this country. I'm talking about the leadership. They're the ones that are causing this. And you can lie to yourself. You can say whatever you want. You can make excuses. You can talk about guns. You can do anything you want. But people don't use guns to hurt one another unless they're motivated by something. Motivated by something. And there's something in these cases with these high-profile shootings, whether it be going after Trump or anybody else, it's motivated by the hateful rhetoric that they're hearing from the top every day on the news, every day on social media. That's what it is. I have no reason to say this other than this is what I see and what I believe with all my heart. I wouldn't say it. So what am I trying to do now? I'm trying to get them to shut the hell up and stop it. Really care about these people in this country and get together and talk about one another the rightful way. Do what you were elected to do, to help the people, to govern properly, not to maintain a platform for yourself so that you can enjoy all the perks that you enjoy. And if you did an audit on every one of these people, you would see the perks that they enjoy on taxpayers' dimes, and they don't want to give it up. They absolutely do not want to give it up. Don't let them tell you anything different. I saw it. I witnessed it. I know politicians. I went to Washington. I saw their perks. I know what they get. This is all it is. It's maintaining power and maintaining the ability to earn money off of all of your backs. So now that I've ranted about that and make you all understand, this is what it's all about. Don't soft sell it. Don't try to gloss over it. Don't try to say anything else. It's the dangerous, harmful, horrific rhetoric that's coming from the top that's causing these people that are imbalanced. You got to be imbalanced when you take a gun and shoot somebody that you don't know. There's got to be motivated by hatred, by fear, by something. And where does it come from? It's from the people that are spewing it out. And they're all on the top. And the media. Don't let me get away from the media. The media, okay, is just as guilty as these people from the top because they are the ones that report all this garbage. They don't hold anybody accountable. It's disgusting what's going on. Let's get back to Charlie a little bit and see if there's any updates here. There's one update that we don't want to hear, and that's, God forbid, his life was taken as a result of this. I'm going to read you some stuff here. Charlie Kirk is a close ally of President Trump, the founder of the nation's preeminent right-wing youth activist organization. He was shot in the neck on Wednesday while speaking at a campus event at Utah Valley University. Cell phone videos posted online showed people running from the event after a gunshot rang out. One video appeared to show, Mr. Kirk's head jerking back as blood poured from his neck. He had been delivering remarks while sitting under a tent with the slogan, "The American Comeback." A university spokeswoman, Eleanor Trainer, said that Mr. Kirk was struck about 20 minutes after he began speaking on campus. She said a suspect had fired at Mr. Kirk from the Low C Center, a building about 200 yards away. This was a guy that was a sharpshooter. University originally said the shooter had been taken into custody, but officials determined that person they had detained, who can be seen in videos posted online, was not the gunman. Another spokesperson, Scott Trotter, said later, relying on information from the university's police chief, who is coordinating with other law enforcement agencies. His condition right now is unknown, but man, from the blood I saw gushing out of his neck from that video, this is serious. If this man survives, it'll be a miracle. I'm telling you. And that's why we need your prayers. And you, Jasmine Crockett, and all you imbeciles out there, and all you immoral people out there, and all the mayor, all you people that say that prayer shouldn't be had. And how dare you? Who the heck are you to tell people who have faith in God not to pray? What is wrong with you people? Really? How dare you tell people not to pray at a time like this because you don't believe in God? You want to direct everybody else not to believe in God? You know how many people have been saved by prayer? You know how many people believe in prayer? Billions of people. And you, Jasmine Crockett, you phony hypocrite, in there for yourself, want to parade around, like you're you're exhibiting yourself for a role in a movie. You don't care about anybody. How dare you tell people not to pray? You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be encouraging people to pray, encouraging people to turn to God. Why do you think we have these issues in this country? Because people like you have turned people away from God. That's the bottom line. All of you in Washington, D.C., that don't believe in God. You got immorality at a peak in this country. Why? Because when you turn away from God, you turn towards evil. That's the bottom line. Oh, here's a good one. Bipartisan condemnation. Democrats and Republicans quickly denounced the shooting on social media. We must all pray for Charlie Kirk, who has been shot, said President Trump. Thank you, President Trump. We appreciate that very much. A great guy from top to bottom. God bless him. In a post, Gavin Newsom, Democrat of California, called the violence disgusting, vile, and reprehensible. Well, you know what, Gavin Newsom? You're disgusting, vile, and reprehensible also. You really are. Because what you've done to this state, what you've done to the state of California, that's documented, that we can see. Okay? I don't even want to get into that. I don't want to get sidetracked on that. Your rhetoric has been disgusting also. And I have to say this. There's times when Trump disappoints me. I don't like the things that he says. Trump, it's not good. Even though these people are attacking you nonstop, day in, day out, 24/7, in the media, on the left, everywhere. I get it. But you know what? You got to rise above all of that, President Trump. You're the president of this country. You have to rise above that. You have to set the tone. You have to get up there and say, listen, I'm not going along with any of this rhetoric on the left. They lie to you consistently. They want to make me out to be the worst thing since Hitler. It's all not true. You're going to see that. Believe your life. Don't believe these people lying. It's not going to happen. And I'm not going to go in the gutter with them anymore, because look what happens. This is what needs to be done. I'm serious. It needs to be done. President Trump, you have to set the tone here. As hard as it is, when you're being attacked constantly by these animals out there that want to talk. You know what they are? They're a bunch of cowards. They stand behind their security. They stand behind their position. They stand behind because they know the media is going to get in front. They stand behind all of that, and they talk. They talk and they talk, and they create dissent. And they create hatred and divisiveness. And here's the result. And you know what? A few days ago, August 22nd, I believe, a man that obviously needed to be either in jail or in a mental institution gets up and stabs a young, innocent girl on a train because he believes in his mind, he thought that she was saying things about him. He was dreaming it up. But his mother tried to get him in jail. He was arrested so many times, and the judge lets him go out on cashless bail. I had $1 million bail on a racketeering case where I was shylocking money, $1 million bail. And they let a guy out that had 18 or 14 or 18 prior arrests with no bail, arrests for hurting people. That's how sick these people on the left have become. They're pro criminal and anti victim. That's what we're becoming. That's what this nation has become. And for all of you that, you want to talk about Trump, it's not about Trump. It's about common sense. What makes sense in this country? Law enforcement makes sense. Deporting people that are here illegally makes sense. It's a law. If you don't like the law, change it. Get off your collective asses, Congress, and change the law. But don't get mad at people that are trying to enforce it. It's common sense. It doesn't matter who's saying it, whether it be Trump or a Democrat or an independent or any. It's common sense. And this violence, it's common sense. We can't have it. It's like what's going on. This is highly reported because Charlie Kirk is a main person of interest. But what's happening in Chicago every single weekend since the Obama administration, people are dying. Shots ringing out. People are dying every weekend. And they want to get up there and say, we don't need any help. Well, God darn it, yes, you do, because you're doing nothing to stop it. I mean, enough of this. When is it going to stop? When is it going to stop? I'll tell you when. When these big mouth hypocrites in Washington and on the state level that want to knock everybody and create hatred and divisiveness, that's when it's going to stop. That's when, not before it. But I guarantee you, let a day or two or three go by and you'll see the same thing going on. Guarantee you, there are people out there right now blaming Donald Trump for this. Guaranteed. Guaranteed, because they're cowards, phonies, and hypocrites. And I'm sorry, you know what? I just cannot get over this. Like I say, I'm stunned because it's Charlie Kirk, because it happened, but I'm not shocked. It's obvious that these things are going to continue to happen. You let criminals out of jail, with no bail, that have inflicted damage on people time and time again. Well, they're going to continue. There's no consequences. So people get murdered on the train. You let people out without bail that have committed crimes over and over and over and over again, serious crimes against citizens. It's going to continue to happen. It's going to continue to happen. When are these people going to wake up and say, enough? This isn't a Trump policy. This is a citizens' policy to keep the citizens of this country safe. Bipartisan condemnation. You know what? I wish I could believe it, but I don't. Because I'm telling you, there's people right now blaming Trump. And there are people within the next 2 or 3 days, they'll be throwing the blame everywhere, except upon themselves. And they'll be telling you not to pray. I want to hear Jasmine Crockett tell us not to pray for Charlie Kirk now. Tell us that. Open your big mouth now and tell us not to pray for Charlie Kirk now. Police officer now going building to building and escorting people off campus. Utah Valley University said on social media, roads to the campus are now closed, the university said. House Speaker Mike Johnson said he would hold a moment of silence in the chamber for Charlie Kirk and called the shooting detestable. Yeah, but you know what? Too little, too late. Too little, too late. I'm sorry. The damage has been done and it'll continue to be done. Quote, political violence has become all too common in American society, and this is not who we are, Johnson said. Well, you know what? Yes, this is who you are right now. All of you people in Washington that continue to throw damaging and harmful and hateful rhetoric at one another, yes, this is who we have become. And it needs to stop. And I know something. I know, Mike Johnson, you're a man of faith. I happen to meet you also. You're a man of faith, and I believe that. And we need you to talk to your fellow Congress people and tell them, stop. Enough is enough. You can be against Trump's policies, but don't make him out to be a demon that's out to destroy America, because you're all lying to the American people so that you can get back in power and stay in power and abuse your power like you have been doing. Mike Johnson, all of you need to come to your senses. We need every political figure. We need everyone who has a platform to say this loudly and clearly. We can settle disagreements and disputes in a civil manner, and political violence must be called out, and it has to stop. Again, Speaker Johnson, too little, too late. The damage has been done. But no, let me correct myself. Maybe we can stop future damage by all of these people that we put in office. You know what? I look at some of these people and say, how the hell are we relying on them to lead us? How? They couldn't lead anything. And we have our lives in their hands. Look at some of these people. Look when they open their mouth, the things that they have to say. Ask yourself, what benefit have they done for the American people? Ask yourself that. The next time they open their mouths and they want to go after Trump or anybody else, say, what did you do to help the American people? Show me. Let me see it. Let me see how you've impacted their lives in a positive way. Or you're auditioning again, to make yourself, a better character, a bigger character. And at the same time, let's audit your spending. And let's audit how much the taxpayers are spending on you to fly around this country, fly around the world, stay in the best hotels, and you don't want to give it up. You don't care about the American people. You're a bunch of hypocrites. You need to stop this divisive, harmful, bad rhetoric. I'm pointing at all of you right now, and some of you may come back and say, well, look what you're doing right now. Well, you know what? Somebody's got to speak up about it. Somebody's got to get through your heads to say, you know what? It's time we stop. It's time we stop. All this racism garbage that you keep throwing around. This is not a racist country. Stop it. Stop using the race card every single minute that you can. Putting it in people's heads that they're deprived in this country. Everybody has an opportunity, and if you really want to do good, then get into the root of the problem. Educate people that don't have an opportunity to help themselves. Educate them at a young age. Get into the communities early on. Don't start screaming racism later on. Jasmine Crockett, who the hell are you to scream racism? You've got it better than many in this country. White, black, green, doesn't matter. And yeah, I'm calling you out because you got the loudest voice, certainly one of the loudest voices. Any updates here? Okay, let's see. All right, well, I hate to report, my wife just let me know Charlie Kirk has died. It's over. President Trump has just announced it. I'm getting the chills. I cannot believe this. This 31-year-old young man who's had such an amazing influence on our young people. Do you know that as a result of a lot of what Charlie Kirk has done, a lot of young men are now turning to God? Bibles are at an all-time high. Young men are now attending church. What's wrong with that? This is what Charlie Kirk was teaching. He was having good debate with people on campus. He wasn't calling them out. He wasn't denouncing them. He wasn't calling them names. He was having common sense debate with young people that were listening to his common sense. And they killed this guy. They killed this guy. His wife was there. This country should be ashamed. The leadership of this country should be ashamed of themselves. Absolutely ashamed of themselves. I don't even know what to say. I really don't. And you know what? This is from President Trump. The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. Mr. Trump posted on Truth Social, adding, "He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and he's no longer with us." A university spokeswoman, Eleanor Trainer, said Mr. Kirk, 31, was struck about 20 minutes after he began to speak. Oh, God. I mean, I don't even know what to say, people. And yeah, I'm going off because I'm angry. I'm angry. And we get to hear when they capture this shooter, and they will. I want to hear what this guy has to say. And I guarantee you, this was nothing personal with Charlie Kirk. He doesn't know Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk did nothing to him to hurt him. I guarantee you, it's because of the hard, hateful rhetoric that has been coming out of our leadership. I hate to even call them leaders. They're not leaders. They're cowards. Because anybody that can stand behind a position with security paid by taxpayers and spew rhetoric, hateful rhetoric out of their mouths, they're not, they're not leaders, they're cowards. That's all they are. Cowards that want to maintain their position, and people die as a result. They die as a result. I knew after I saw that shot and the way the blood gushed out, it would take a miracle for him to survive. A young man who's done nothing but good for this country, nothing but good. Talk to some of the students that he spoke to. He wasn't throwing out hateful rhetoric. He was making common sense with them, talking about common sense issues and positions that common sense leads you to take. That's it. Common sense issues. And young people were taking to him because of his delivery, the way he spoke. He wasn't out there spewing harmful rhetoric. He wasn't trying to be divisive. He was trying to make sense with people so that sensible positions can be taken. And he was doing it with our young people because they're the future. And now we have this. Now we have this man's life cut short at the age of 31 years old because of these selfish, cowardly leaders on the top that want to spew out hateful and divisive rhetoric. Let me go to some of the, yeah, I'm sick to my stomach. I want to go to see some of the questions that might be asked that I can answer here. Yeah. Let's still pray for Kirk. Yeah. Pray for Charlie Kirk. Well, not according to Jasmine Crockett or to the mayor of that town, okay, that got up and said we shouldn't pray. We shouldn't pray. There's got to be more than prayer. How dare you? How dare you tell people that find hope and encouragement and peace in our God, tell them not to pray to God? This is what we have in this country, telling you not to pray. I mean, my wife is crying. I mean, I think people all over this country are crying right now for this young man. You know, it goes to show you people how delicate and fragile life is, you know. At a moment's notice, life could end. Our worlds can turn upside down. It's not only Charlie, it's his family, it's the people that loved him. And you want to tell us not to believe in God, not to put our faith and hope in God? Who should we put it in, Jasmine Crockett? Put our faith and hope in you? What have you done for people other than spew your hateful rhetoric? And Elizabeth Warren and Adam Schiff and all you people that were in cahoots, lying and lying day in and day out to try to get Trump out of office, calling him Hitler, calling him a dictator, calling him, the guy that's going to ruin this nation, in a way to get people so heated up and so scared and so fearful that they take actions like this. And I'm talking about both sides. The reason I bring these people up, because they're the ones that make the most noise. They're the ones that want to be in the news every time, every single time. I open up my feed on YouTube. I see Elizabeth Warren spewing hate at Donald Trump. I see this woman, JoJo, spewing hate at Donald Trump. Adam Schiff, the liar, the coward, the fraud, the phony, spewing hate at Donald Trump after what he tried to do to him. Gavin Newsom, same thing. It's all over my feed every time I open it up. Spewing hate at Donald Trump after he destroyed this state that I live in. Fires in Pacific Palisades that he's done nothing about till this point. He's trying to put affordable housing there now. Guaranteed he's going to line his pockets with it, whatever deal he's making there. You want to tell us not to pray? How dare you tell us not to pray when life is so delicate and so fragile? I know what God has done in my life. How dare you tell people not to pray? Because why? Because you want guns off the street? Because that's one of your favorite, points of rhetoric all the time? It's not guns that kill people. It's the people that are holding these guns that have been incited to kill people because of harmful and divisive rhetoric that's coming out of your mouths. That's what it is. Fearmongers. And the press, the same thing. Fearmongers. That's all you are. His last word, what am I putting here? Yes, he did pass. For all of you that maybe just tuned in, Charlie Kirk is dead. Yes, gunshot wound to the neck. Hit an artery, guaranteed. Blood spewed out. Yes, dead. Absolute travesty. Oh, man, these things are coming too fast even for me to read. I'm so angry right now. We need to bring people to Jesus as much as Charlie was doing. Yeah. And here's another guy out there that was out there speaking the word of God. Speaking the word of God. Does that offend you, Jasmine Crockett, and you mayor and all you people that want to stop us from praying to our God? Who should we pray to? You, Jasmine Crockett? What are you going to do for anybody? What have you done for anybody? Nothing but spew hate and venom and parade around like you're some model or actress auditioning for a new role. That's all you're doing, and spending taxpayers' monies in great hotels and walking in front of people in a wheelchair to get on a plane because you think you're about something, and treating your staff like garbage because you think you're important and you're about something, and you have the nerve to tell us not to pray. You have the nerve to tell us not to pray. You know what's wrong with this country? You've moved away from God. We've moved away from God. That's what's wrong with this country. It's immorality that's taken over. That's what's wrong with this country. There is a God, and one day we'll all stand in front of him, and you better get your act together. Because you know what? I'm going to tell you something, people. I spent 29 months and 7 days in a jail cell in solitary. And during that time, I developed a healthy fear of hell. There is an afterlife. There is a heaven and there is a hell. And for those of you who want to parade around this country, not believing in God, not believing in our Savior, thinking you're all about something, that it all begins and ends with you, you are going to get a rude awakening when there is no chance of turning back. There is none. And if you don't believe that, you know what? Rather than parade around this country and audition to be the next whatever it is you're trying to audition, why don't you get in and study your faith or a faith or any faith and come to a rational conclusion as to whether there really is a God and whether it is you're going to answer to him one day. That's what you need to do. Rather than misleading people and dividing this country by spewing your hatred and your divisiveness. And as a result, blood on the hands of those of all of you. I'm sorry. You want to accuse me of being a former mobster? There's blood on your hands of innocent people. Because you don't remember, the pen is mightier than the sword. Look at your book of Proverbs. Your words kill. They do more harm than anything else. I have a question here on YouTube from Eugene. Hey, Chief, it's getting really bad in the world. Scared for all the people that are pushing God, good word now, and trying to show the truth that is disgusting to tell people not to pray. Charlie was a Christian, and that was his religion. Yeah. And you know what? Christians are being martyred all over the world. You can say anything you want about a Christian. Nobody's going to say a word. Say something about another faith. Christians and Jews, don't ever prop them up. Don't ever say anything. You can say anything you want. We had a president under his administration. Christians that prayed by an abortion clinic were arrested and put in jail. Christians for praying. Is that what you want, Jasmine Crockett? You want to lock up Christians that pray? You know what? You know the sad thing? There are Christians out there praying for you, Jasmine Crockett, praying that you come to your senses, praying that you turn to God. They're not praying for you to get shot. They're not praying for you to go to hell. They're praying. Good Christians, honest Christians are praying for you to turn to God for your own salvation. That's what they're doing. Because that's who we are. Christians are being martyred all over this country. Charlie Kirk, a devout Christian, he's a martyr now because of divisive rhetoric. Yeah, I'll keep saying it. That's the reason. And I guarantee when they get this guy, this lunatic that shot him, and they sit him down, if he has any mental capacity whatsoever, he's going to tell you that he's fearful of what's going on here in this country. That Charlie Kirk supports Trump, who's looking to destroy the nation. There's no proof. There's no evidence of that whatsoever. You people that keep saying that are sick. There's something mentally wrong with you. You're sick. You're so filled with this lust for power that you don't want to get out of office. You want more power. You want to be able to impose your agenda on all of us, like you tried to do during COVID and every other way. Like you tried to censor our social media, keep us quiet. It all came out, and people that don't recognize this, you need to recognize this. It's leadership. The same leaders that put us $37 trillion in debt and then want to raise our taxes as a result. We would hope that the work Charlie Kirk was doing on these college campuses would have young, ambitious, strong-willed, rightful people come forward to lead this country. Because what we have now, it's shameful. It's shameful. There's no other way to put it. It's shameful. You people in power should be ashamed of yourself. Every single last one of you that caused all of this divisiveness. You almost caused the president to be shot. And you won't claim any responsibility for it. None whatsoever. None. It's always the other guy's fault. It's always anybody else's fault but your own. Look in the damn mirror. Be honest with yourself for once. Care about the people you claim to care about that we know is all a lie. I'm not going to post any video of this. It's all over the place. We can see it. People, I'm going to tell you something, calming down a little bit. We need to get right with God in this country. I'm telling you right now, we need to get right with God in this country. We can't turn away from him anymore. We can't let hatred fill the halls of justice. We can't let people in power that want to maintain power, that care nothing for us, nothing, and want to impose their sick agendas on us. We can't let it happen. And the only way, we need a Jesus revolution. I'm telling you right now. And listen to me, people. For those of you that want to knock Jesus, don't knock Jesus until you know who he is. You want to do something for yourself, not for Jesus, not for God, not for anyone else. They don't need you. You need them. You want to do something for yourself? You want to make this country a better place to live in? You want to make this world a better place? I challenge you to go to the Gospels and read about Jesus of Nazareth, the man, Jesus of Nazareth. Read about who he was. Read about his teachings. Read about his character, his wisdom, his courage, his knowledge, his mercy, his grace, his love. Read about him. And then ask yourself, is this the man that I want to emulate in my life? And for you ladies, is this the person whose character I want to emulate? And then continue to read. Read the New Testament. Read it. Because Jesus lived on this earth. Jesus died on the cross. And Jesus rose again for the forgiveness of all sins. And if you look towards Jesus, this hateful, same as me. I did some damage on the streets, but I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore because I want to be more like him. I fall far short. But I've changed my ways because Jesus is the person I want to emulate. And when you live and try to emulate Jesus, you don't live in a pattern of hurting people anymore. Do you hear what I said? You won't live in a pattern of hurting people anymore. I don't want to hurt anybody. I want people to come to their senses. I want people to be forgiven. I want people to stop their bad ways. I'm not looking for sending people to hell. That's what Jesus does for you. We need a Jesus revolution in this country. And you know what? Charlie Kirk was instilling values in young people that they need to have. He was teaching them how to have integrity. He was giving them a moral compass. He was telling them what good leadership is all about, common sense. And he gets cut down for it because of the hateful rhetoric. And you're going to hear me repeat this on and on and on and time again. Do we want to live in a country where we have to worry about our daughters, our grandchildren, our wives? You guys, I'm talking to you. The people that we care about going outdoors because some lunatic out of nowhere is going to come and start shooting people? Is that the world we want to live in? Is that the country, the city, the state we want to live in? Of course not. So how does it end? By telling our leaders to stop this hateful, harmful, destructive, demonic rhetoric. Can I ask you this? How can anybody out there, anybody, male, female, or anybody else, want men to compete in women's sports? So if we're talking against that, it's common sense. It's not being against any particular group. Be a transgender all the hell you want. If this is your lot in life, go and do it. But don't hurt other people as a result of it. Compete against one another. And don't go into a ladies' bathroom and expose yourself for women to have to see. Nobody's telling you not what to do in your life as far as who you want to be. You want to be an it, a them, a the, a dog. Do whatever the hell you want. Don't impose it on other people and don't hurt anybody as a result. Common sense. That's all. Who the hell is anybody to impose that on us? Because you have the power in office to do it? You want to cater that group? Cater to them all you want. Build a city for them. Do whatever the hell you want. But don't impose it on us. Don't impose it on people that don't want it. You impose enough on us. You threw this country into $37 trillion in debt and want us to make it up. You're not being hurt by it. Enough of this leadership. They're not leaders. Trust me, they're not leaders. I know what leadership is. Charlie Kirk is dead. I'm still saying I cannot believe it. It's still so hard to believe that this has actually happened. Look at this animal, Fork Boy, animal. Die, Charlie, die. Die, Charlie, die. You're an animal. You know that? You should be ashamed of yourself. A young, innocent man. Die, Charlie, die. Where did you get that from? If you have any kind of spine, tell us why you feel that way. Tell us why. I guarantee you'll prove me right. Guaranteed. Because all of the lies and the venom and hatred that you've spewed. But here you are, sitting behind a computer or a telephone without even your real name, spewing your hatred. Die, Charlie, die. You're a coward, in plain English. Cuban James wants me to explain his message. I can do that, my friend. But listen, Charlie Kirk was a devout Christian who was on college campuses talking common sense to them about common sense values that we as Americans have. That's it. And I can get into it. He wasn't out there spewing hate. He wasn't going after people. He wasn't, you know, spewing hateful rhetoric everywhere. He was just trying to make common sense so this country can come back to a common sense moral compass. That's all. That's what he was doing, and he was having a tremendous impact. These young men and women were listening to him. Look at the crowd. Yeah, there was some divisiveness on campus, but that's okay. We can have people that have opposing thoughts, but we can't want to kill people as a result. We can't want to call them Nazis and destroyers of America. We can't do that. For 200 plus years in this country, we didn't do that. We had opposition to one another, but not like this hateful rhetoric that's gone on. The lies. People lie day in and day out. They lie on camera. They don't even care. It's disgusting what's going on. And they tell people not to pray. This nation was found on biblical principles. Do your research. Look at our founding fathers. I'm not making this up. When they call for a separation of state and religion, they did it for a reason because they didn't want the state involving themselves in religious activities. Because they shouldn't. They were looking to protect faith and not make it politics. Separation of church and state. Yeah, states, stay out of religion. You don't belong there. But they reversed it. Religion, stay out of politics. Why? Why should we? As a person of faith, I don't consider myself religious, but as a first person of faith, I hope to have a moral compass that people can relate to. Common sense, moral values. I'm going to move over to. I don't even know what to say. I'm telling you, this is. People, I don't know if there are any more updates to be talked about here. I guess the next update will be whether we find the shooter. They're going to find the shooter. There's no doubt about it. They'll sit him down. They'll question him. But I don't know if there's much more to say at this point other than to, extend our prayers. I know some people are going to have a problem with that. Jasmine Crockett, in particular, that mayor of the town that was upset that people were praying for the victims in the school shooting. I know that. God forbid you pray to our God. It's a horrible thing, according to some people. No. But who is their God? That's what I want to know. Who is their God? That's what I want to know. You tell people not to pray to our God, and you wonder why we're having all the issues that we're having in this country. You wonder why there's so much hate. God is a God of love. He's not a God of hate. And please don't point back to the Old Testament and say, people died. You're so off base on that. And if we had time, I can talk to you all day and explain to where you're so off base about it. And then you don't want to cite the New Testament, a God of love, Jesus Christ, and what he did, and the sacrifice that he made to save the world. You don't want to talk about that. You only want to use your talking points all the time. I don't know what is there, left to say about this. Charlie Kirk is dead. I'm going to leave it with this as the result of what I believe to be the harmful, hateful rhetoric that is coming out of our leadership. Yes, I believe that. It's been happening now for years. Ever since Trump walked down that elevator, it's been nothing but hatred, nothing but venom spewing out of the mouths of people that don't like him. I have never, ever in my lifetime, on the street for 20 years, in prison for 8, I have never witnessed or seen the amount of hatred lodged against anyone, political figure, guy on the street, anyone, actor, actress, sports figure, you name it, in any office anywhere, in any career anywhere, anywhere. I've never seen the amount of venom and hatred. And there's only one reason and one reason only. Not because they believe Trump is destroying this country. They know that's a lie. They know it. Trump stands in the way of their power. That's all it is. Their power, their ability to make money on taxpayers' back, their ability to oppose their agenda on the people of this country. Power. That's all it is. Trump stands in the way of their power. I'll say it time and time again. I'll say it. If a gun was pointed to my head, I'll say it. I wrote a book about it, Mafia Democracy. Read it. These people do not want to lose their seat of power. They want to have the ability to impose their agendas on us. That's what it's all about. Nothing else. They do not care about you. And if you think they do, go and do the research and say, this is what these people have done for me and what are continuing to do for me. And I guarantee you're going to find it. You're going to be hard pressed to find anything. In the same time, look at what they've done for themselves. Look at their bank account. Look at their wealth. Look at the perks that they get. Look at the enjoyment that they're having. Look at what they have on the backs of taxpayers, and because of your vote, putting them in office. Trump's a threat to that. He's a threat. They don't want it. So they will spew whatever hatred they possibly can out at him. They will put fear in your hearts. They will lie. They will steal. They will do anything to get you to get rid of him and anybody else that stands in their way. I'm telling you, I'm a street guy at heart. I know what these people are. I've seen it time and time again. I've witnessed power on the street. I've witnessed people undermining other people to maintain and stay in power. And I'm seeing it. That's what our government has become in a large degree. I'm not saying there's no good people there. Unfortunately, it's the people that have the most venom in them that speak the loudest, get the most attention. And unfortunately, we have cowards, hypocrites, and liars in mainstream media that support them and report. Do you know, people, when that young woman was killed, murdered by this maniac that kept getting let loose by judges with this cashless bail BS? Do you know that it happened on August 22nd, and they hid it? Mainstream media wouldn't report it because it was a black guy killing a white girl. Do you know that? They wouldn't even report it until finally it broke almost 2 weeks after it happened. This is the sickness of the mainstream media. Imagine if that would have been a white guy killing a black girl. It would have been blasted all over the place because they're the ones that are pushing racism in this country. They're the ones. So if it doesn't, even if a murder doesn't fit into their narrative, they'll cover it up. The mayor of that city in North Carolina was protecting the perpetrator of the crime. Unbelievable. And you want to keep throwing God out of this country, throwing him out of our institutions, throwing him out of our classrooms. Praise God for Charlie Kirk, who did his utmost to let people on these campuses, these young people, know that no, there is a God. And you know what? Charlie Kirk is with God at this very moment. Absolutely. That's what the Christian faith shows us and teaches us. And there's evidence of that all over. Charlie Kirk is with the Lord at this very moment. Yeah, he's in a better place. He's in a better place. No question about it. As a Christian, I believe that. And let some of you evil people turn that around and say, well, then why you care that he's dead? Some of you sick people out there will say that. But the aftermath of what this has done here on earth and here to his family and to people that care and to the country in general is sickening. Absolutely sickening. But thanks to his faith in God, Charlie Kirk is with our Lord right now. Absolutely. No question about it. And some of you better think long and hard about where you're going to be when you take your last breath. You take your last breath on earth. As a Christian, you take your next breath with our God in heaven. You better think hard about that. Think hard about that before you spew out your venom and you tell people not to pray. Think hard about that for your own salvation. Think hard. Because you know why I implore you to do that? Because you'll be a better person. You won't be spewing your hateful rhetoric all over the place. And no, and don't misconstrue what I'm doing right now. This is a shout out to all of you people in leadership to cut it out. Cut it out. Stop right now, because you are causing innocent people to die. Cut it out. And be leaders. Do what you were voted into this office to do. And that is to act for the welfare and the benefit of people, not for yourselves, because that's all you're doing now. Look, I just want to end it with, my condolences, my deep condolences to Charlie Kirk's family, to his wife, to all the people that loved him, his family. I know how painful this is. I know what a shock it is. I know it's very tough to get over something like this, but know that my prayers, the prayers of my family will be with you and all the people that I know, my church, I know, Pastor Greg Laurie. I know we'll be praying for you, all of you right now. Our prayers are extended to all of you. God bless you all. I don't know what else to say other than maybe go through some of these questions for my people that are on. We have a lot of people here. Let me get to some comments and see if there's anything I can do at this point. I mean, what do you do? Question Charlie was asked just, yeah, isn't this amazing? Thank you for bringing this out. Oh, where is it? The question Charlie was asked just before. Oh, gosh, come on. It's so hard to read these chats because they move so quick. The question Charlie was asked just before getting shot was about the mass shooters in this country. Can you believe this? Just before he got shot, somebody asked a question about the mass shootings in this country. Eleanor 574, I pray for President Trump more than ever. God protect President Trump and his family. Protect Vice President J.D. Vance, his family. God protect RFK Jr. In Jesus' name, amen. There are only two genders. God will not be mocked. You know what? That's absolutely true. God created man and God created woman. He didn't create anything else. There are only two genders. God will not be mocked. Michael, don't give the left another thought. They will be as nothing, and they that strive with these shall perish. Isaiah 41:11. You know what? We want the left to come to their senses. We want the left to turn to God. We want the left to turn to the Lord because this place will be a better place to live in. I don't want to denounce them to hell. I want them to be saved. And the way to do that is turn to God. Turn to God. I'm not wanting to condemn any of you to hell because in condemning you to hell, this world is going to continue to be a bad place. I want to be comfortable at night when my daughters are walking the streets, when my grandchildren are walking the streets. I don't want some maniac filled with hate to do them harm. I want you to turn from your ways, turn to God. You'll be a better person. The world will be a better place to live in. Your towns, your communities, your neighborhoods will be a better place to live in. We as Christians pray for people to turn to God. That's what we want. I'm very saddened over Charlie Kirk's passing. We all are, Eleanor. Thank you for that. That shooter deserves to rot. You know what? That's the initial feeling we all have. The shooter deserves to rot. But you know what? As a Christian, you want him to come to the Lord. I don't know what else to say. I don't want to incite anybody by making people say the wrong thing. But as Christians, we don't pay for people to rot in hell or to have pain, as hard as it is not to, because that's our initial reaction. But what caused this guy to do something like this? And I'm not feeling sorry for him and I'm not making him a victim in any way. But we need to get to the root causes of this. And I'm telling you, it's this harmful, divisive rhetoric. You don't have to be a genius to know it and to see it. That's what it is. It's the divisive, harmful rhetoric making people believe that Trump is going to destroy this nation, destroy this world, put us all in chains, and all this garbage that you people spew out of your mouth. All of it. It's disgusting. And it gets into the head of demented, unstable people like this. And this is what they do. They don't deserve a pass. They deserve to be held accountable. No question about it. All right, people, I'm going to wrap it up because, like I said, what more is there to say about this? Now it's just praying for the loved ones of these people. That's what we need to do. We need to pray for them. And let me tell you something, people. This is an assassination. Charlie Kirk was this is an assassination. Let's put it that way. And let me tell you this also, and I'm just going to bring this up. This is not only happening here in America. If you look at the interview that I did with Tommy Robinson, it was posted yesterday. A lot of people are looking into it. Same thing is going on in the UK in a different way because people are turning away from God. They're turning away from God. Not going to work, people. God is who he is. In the end, he's going to win. There's no question about it. You people that disbelieve and want to keep spewing hate and want to turn people away from God, you're going to pay the price. There's no question about it. You're going to pay the price. That's not me making it happen. That's yourselves making it happen. When incidents like this happen, hopefully it makes you more aware, makes you understand what's really going on. There is a turning away from God in this country. Charlie Kirk was one of those people out there turning people towards God, towards God. He wasn't teaching them to hate. Christians don't teach people to hate. He wasn't teaching them that the people on the left are going to bring America into hell. He wasn't teaching them that. He was teaching them common sense. He was teaching them common sense, people, and he was teaching them, to love their neighbor, not to hate them. And I keep going back to this because it's despicable that a leader in this country like Jasmine Crockett, she calls herself a leader. She's not a leader in my book in any way, shape, or form, would tell people not to pray, would actually get up on her soapbox and tell people not to pray. The same with the mayor. After that horrific school shooting where young people, students died, telling people don't pray, but politicizing it by saying going after their guns. Really? What causes people to pick up a gun and go shoot people? That's what you need to understand. What's causing this? And I'm telling you again, it's this harmful, divisive, hateful, demonic rhetoric that's coming from the top on both sides. I'm not giving anybody a pass. It just so happens that the people on the left shout the loudest. It just so happens that the people on the left have demonized Donald Trump to a degree where people actually think he's the second coming of Satan. I know. I get comments all the time. What the people say about Trump is like they're talking about the devil himself. They are talking about the devil himself. They are so deranged with hatred. It doesn't make any sense, but they're hearing it from the rhetoric on the top. That's it. They're hearing it from these people that hate Trump so much because he stands in the way of their power. That's all it is, people. It's not because he's hurting you. It's because he stands in the way of their power. That's all it is. The people in office in this country have come to love their offices, their power, their perks, the money that they've maintained and gained as a result. They don't want to give it up. It's why they stay in Congress for 20, 30 years. It's why we need to have term limits. Let them spend their 2 terms, 3 terms, and get them the hell out. They get too comfortable, too cushiony. Get them out the same way we get a president out. Why shouldn't we get these people out of office? Let them go earn a real living. And let me remind you, when Joe Biden was in office, there weren't people on the right, not that I remember, saying that he was Hitler, saying that he was a demon, saying that he was going to kill people. I didn't hear that. I heard the truth about him, that he was incompetent, that he opened the border to a degree where he flooded communities in this country where people got hurt as a result, that he was locking up parents and calling them domestic terrorists. They were against that. Why shouldn't they be? Why should a parent be called a domestic terrorist for wanting to know what the curriculum is in the school that they were being taught? But that's what happened. But they weren't calling him a demon. They weren't saying he's got a rotten hell. They weren't saying he's a danger to you, that he's going to lock you up, they wasn't saying any of this. They weren't spewing out that hatred and venom that I recall. They were saying he was bad for the country. Okay, you're allowed to say that. You can say Donald Trump is bad for the country because we believe his agenda is not good. Okay. But to put fear and hate to a degree that you've put to cause people to do stuff like this, and you're even causing people on the right to go after people on the left because there's been such a degree of hatred against Donald Trump that people are even lashing out against that in an evil way. It all has to stop, people. It has to stop. You people on the top have to stop. Just saying hello quickly to my grandson. Hey, Jet, Grandpa will be with you in 1 minute. I'm just wrapping something up here. I want to be concerned about my grandson, in a school, having to worry about, whether he's in an auditorium or something. And this is why I'm so adamant and so riled up about this, because these maniacs have to stop. And it's you people in charge that have to stop it. You're causing a lot of harm in this country, and you need to stop it. You need to stop. Once again, I'm going to leave off by just, extending my prayers and the prayers of my family to Charlie Kirk's family, to his loved ones, to people in the community now that are struggling over this. I hope that you get some comfort out of it at some point. And let's hope that this is a lesson to our leadership, that they need to start to bring this country together and stop dividing it the way they are. If you want to help in this country, do your job in Congress. Put laws forth that are going to help us, that are going to benefit the people. Stop wasting our money on abusive pet projects of your own. Stop spewing hate on anybody, whether it be Donald Trump or anybody else that incites people to a degree that they do things like this and kill innocent people. It's got to stop, people. And you're the only ones. And yes, my prayers go out to each and every one of you that are struggling over this. My prayers go out to each and every one of you that are impacted and affected by this. And I mean that, and I will pray. I just don't use the dialogue. I will pray about it like I do every day. I pray for our president. I pray for people in office. I pray for people that are trying to spread good messages around this country, that nothing like this happens to them. And I pray for our leaders that they come to their senses. And I pray and ask God to bring people back to him. I really do, because if we turn from our sinful ways, God will hear us and he'll restore what needs to be restored in this country. Civility, morality, doing the right things, caring about people, loving one another. That's it, people. And how do I always leave you, no matter what it is? Be safe out there. We do live in a dangerous world. Be safe, be healthy, of course, of mind and body. And God bless each and every one of you. See you all next time.